Hello, this is Bear from Bear Wave. How's it going? Here's a video on ARK, the ETF by Cathie Wood, and today we're going to take a look at it because I'm seeing something which is potentially interesting to invest into this ETF, and we have two main counts which I'm going to show you in just a second, and as always I'll give a brief description on both and tell you what we could see in the future. So, as always, we are utilizing Elliott Wave. Here is the alternate. So I'm just going to start out with the alternate, which is the one you're looking at right now. Basically, if we go on exponential scale, so same thing as arithmetic in this case, we are looking at a potential wave 1 and 2 completed with the cover lows, a rally into wave 3, tiny wave 4, and then up for wave 5 into what would be an ending diagonal. So from there, we topped in March, actually the end of February, 3 waves down, sharp move to the upside for wave B, and now we're potentially in the making, if not nearly completed. We're going to look at it in just a second on wave C. What does it mean? Potentially, we have a wave 1 and 2 in place. So we could be nearly ready for a huge move to the upside. Now, some things in favor of this count are the fact that on this scale, this correction looks significantly larger, especially in magnitude rather than in time, than this. And that makes me think that it could be of one higher degree. As I said, in terms of time, they're not that far apart. We can even measure them. Let's see together. So we are just at the 61.8, meaning that this move so far is taking 61.8 times the time, so a bit more than half the time that this correction took. So in terms of time, it's still valuable to say that this can be corrections of the same degree, and we're going to analyze that in the alternate. One thing in favor of this count also is the fact that here on the weekly we have broken below the 200 EMA. Now, 200 EMA has acted as support for the cover lows, which has been the biggest sell-off this ETF has seen. And then, of course, after we rallied, we didn't even look at it from far away. But now, not only we broke it, potentially we are going to retest it. And that's a sign that further downside could be due. Now, those are some big evidence in favor of this count. If we look at volume, we see our volume has been low during the entire move to the downside, especially during what could be wave C. It's clear that volume has been moving lower, and now we are seeing more volume ramping up. So that's quite interesting. With last week, we've had the highest volume ever, which is also quite interesting. So potentially we could be near a top. That's evidence that, I meant a bottom. We could be near the bottom. So that's a count. If we look at some indicators, we are in the oversold territory with the RSI. We almost are at a record for the most oversold. And on the MACD, we're definitely at the record. And we are near crossing the averages. So the cross could be a sign of potential reversal, in this case to the upside. It's a sign, it doesn't mean that it's going to happen if they do cross. They can cross, we get this, and then we continue lower. But in confirmation of the count, it's a sign. So that was one count. The other count is a bit more, actually I would say bearish, because if I bring the log scale, you can see how I'm expecting for the downside to come at least one less move lower, and then one less push to the upside to then correct the complete cycle from 2016. Now, in favor of this count on the log scale, we have that this correction are not that far apart in terms of magnitude as they were on exponential scale. Still, of course, we have broken the EMA, which is not a great sign, but Elliott Wave wise, it doesn't mean much. It almost doesn't mean anything. But Elliott Wave wise, we have broken this trend channel from 1 to 3, projected to 2. We have broken it. So unless we go lower and then we have a clear push, that's something that could happen. Otherwise, this count loses credibility. Of course, we have a validation level at the break of this high. So if we cross of $49, this count gets deleted. Doesn't mean anything anymore. Also, in addition to that, this wave 4 is getting quite deep. We are bouncing around 50%. Potentially, it appears that we can go lower to 61.8, as the 60 so far is acting as resistance. We have interesting support around $60 at the 61.8. We have these lows, so it's quite interesting. But we know that usually wave 4 are not that deep. However, one thing I was thinking about is that wave 2 at the same degree wasn't deep at all. It was just a 23.6 correction. So since we should have alternation in corrections, wave 4 being deeper than wave 2 is also a sign. And wave 4 not being an irregular flat, but just a potential regular flat, is also a sign of alternation, which makes sense to this count. So those are the two main scenarios. Let me know if you'd like to see more ETFs on the channel. I'm happy to bring some more. And if you have some suggestions on what ETF or what other instruments you would like to see, please don't hesitate to let me know in the comments. Let me also know if you'd like to go into a more in-depth analysis of ARK. And all I can say is don't forget to subscribe if you don't want to miss out on the next updates. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, and I'll see you in the next one.